the fucking the guy who used to play when all the guys used to play baseball, softball, like Jimmy Burke's team. They'd all go down there on a Sunday. Everybody played baseball, drink beer, and hang out, softball, and they played touch football. And there was a guy who was a great guy, and he'd come down there, and he would always have drinks, and he'd sell everybody beer. You know, he'd be down at Central Park in bags. He'd go $5 for a beer, and he'd bring down soda and beer. For years, and he had no money, and he was kind of a homeless guy or whatever. But you know, that's how he made his living. So, and everybody got to know him, Freddie, I think, or whatever his name. And they'd buy all the soda. He'd have his money, go back. Always well dressed, always a great guy, and trying to make it work for himself, trying to make it fucking work. Well, one day he won the lottery.
Wow,
he won the lottery, and he came into, and I'm not kidding, he came into. It was about $100,000.
That's it?
Something like that, $200,000, right? But he knew, because down there were a lot of really successful guys who on a Sunday loved him, and they're like, fucking, they threw him a party. They were like, this is amazing. Let us manage your money for you, you know, something, because they out of the goodness of their heart. Yeah, man, thanks, man. Well, he disappeared. And they were like, where the fuck did he go? And Jimmy said that he saw him come back about a month later, and he didn't have any soda in his hand, and he was wearing essentially a potato sack, and he had no shoes on, and he was so dirty, and he was completely wasted. And he went back. He went off the wagon.
Oh wow!
And he didn't have that money, and it took him a month to go through all that money somehow.
Jesus Christ! And
he just went back into the worst drug stupor ever.
Jeez.
And that was what he was, and he just never came back.
Yeah, those lottery winners, it doesn't work out really.
Not when you give somebody.
But it's the same thing with college athletes. Like with a lot of these college athletes or high school athletes who get these $1 million contracts, or rappers that get $100 million contracts. Like, yeah, they don't know. Of course, they don't know how to manage their money.
The first thing they should get is an accountant and a money manager who knows, and take a class for 6 months on finances.
Oh, yeah,
6 months.
Because they're going to do that, Brian.
Make them.
Oh no. Yeah, they're going to do that.
In football, you can do that, right? In football, they sit and take classes.
No, absolutely not. For 6 months?
I thought not 6 months, but in the NFL, they sit you down and talk.
Nah. Oh, you're talking about the one seminar they have where they go, don't do this with your money?
It's one seminar?
No, you're grown men. They don't have time for that.
Wow.
No, throw footballs, catch footballs.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to make.
Well, there was that guy. There was that baseball player who was walking around with like a $900,000 check in his pocket for 8 months. And it's like you could have been. What are you doing? Yeah.
It's hilarious.
What are you doing? But that's what I would have done. I would have done that. I was a fucking idiot.
I don't know.
If my father and my brother-in-law sat me down because of the money I was spending on agents and all this stuff on business managers, they were like, "Hey, bro, what is going on here? What are you doing? And why are you always out of money? What's happening? You're making money. What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know."
You're spending.
I was doing about 25 things wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And I should have known better. And I was in my goddamn 30s. You know, some people are just, you know, I see more actors that way. I see so many actors that make so much money, and I talk to them and I see where their money's going, and I'm like, man, bro, you have less of an idea than anybody I know.
The actors?
I know actors who are, you'd know who went broke. I've seen it, and it's a bad situation.
Acting's really tough because there's no, even if you have a huge hit show or movie, like there's no guarantee, there's no longevity.
You go broke.
You got to get, well, you maybe, or you hopefully get on the next sitcom or something.
Or you don't get on the next sitcom, and you got to sell your house.
Yeah.
And the problem is when you're an actor, it's exactly like being a fighter. You don't have any other skill sets. Like that's what you've been doing since you were. So now that's it. Like, you know, Janine Garofalo was talking about that. She was on stage and she was saying, this is it for me. I don't have an option. I don't have a plan B. I got to either get that job or, you know, and a lot of people are in that position. When you see my back ripple and I pull myself up like a chimp 30 times bang, while talking to you, why wouldn't I give that to you as inspiration?
It's a gift, really.
It's a gift.